What's good, y'all? We're gonna do a oil change on a 2016 Chevy Impala V6. I believe it's a 3.6 or a 3.5, but it's the bi-fuel version of the engine. We're gonna do an oil change on it, so let's check this out. First things first, the car is really low because it's got this little rubber lid, and the plastic stops here, and this is all rubber. So you can't just drive it up on the ramps. So I put a scissor jack on the pinch weld on this side of the car, and also on this side of the car. You can see my scissor jack there. I raised it up a little bit so the ramp could fit underneath the wheel, and then I dropped it on the ramps and I just drove up the car. I've already been under here to test fit it. If you have this exact car, the oil plug, it's gonna be a 15 millimeter. You just go underneath the car. It's the front of the car. I went underneath, and right here is the oil plug. All right, don't mind the oil dripping. If it's your car, mind it, but this car, don't mind it. My brother's a diesel mechanic, so this ain't nothing for him. I'm just doing it because he's busy. So yeah, this is the oil plug right there. Sometimes it'll say engine oil on it. And after we're done changing that, if you look a little bit more towards the front of the car, then you got the oil filter right there. The can't read what it says, but the last one's like 90XL or whatever. That's your oil filter. You can get it from the top, or you could get it from the bottom. Just depends on how you're feeling that day. You can use a filter wrench if it's too hard for you to move it by hand, but I don't know yet if it is. So first I'm gonna break this loose. I got it on a deep well socket because I got a bunch of projects, so this is all I have at this house. I got it on the thing like this. All right, I broke it loose. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Or clockwise to counterclockwise. Loosening it is counterclockwise, tightening it is clockwise. If that helps you out better understand this. So now we're just gonna let this oil come out. I broke it loose already, so I could probably unthread it by hand. So get your oil pan, drip pan, or whatever you want to call it. Loosen it by hand. And a quick tip: if you push it into the oil pan while you're loosening it, it's gonna keep the most of the oil in before you have to pull it out and let all the oil come out. It's a quick tip. All right. Once you feel like it's about to come out and you're holding pressure in it still, don't hold it too tight to mess up the threads. Just hold it a little bit. And then once you feel like it's gonna come out, like this, you let it out quick to try to minimize the amount of oil you're spilling on yourself, your gloves, whatever. I do recommend gloves, but I do it all the time without gloves, but I have the luxury of gloves today, so we're gonna use gloves. So let this all drain out. You could clean this oil plug if you want, if you should. Just let it all drain out. And if you want to make it come out a little bit faster, you could unplug the oil cap on top of the engine. I didn't do it this time, but I could. That's just another tip for you. So we're just gonna let this oil all come out. So I usually go until it's like dripping slow. So also, if it's windy where you're doing this at, don't forget to keep an eye on the oil so it's not spilling all over the ground. If I'm not mistaken, this car takes about 6 quarts. I'll double check and I'll cut the video and tell you how much. If you have a washer on your oil plug, you're probably going to want to change that out. Probably. This one, however, I don't think it does. This is the plug right here, 15 millimeter to get it out. Or a 5/8, maybe. I don't know. It says 5/8 on the back. I'm not really a standard guy, I'm more of a metric guy. Well, most of the oil looks like it's coming out now, so I'm gonna put the plug back in. It's up to you on how much oil you're trying to let. Like, obviously let as much as you can out of it, but you know, you don't gotta wait until it's bone dry unless you want to. It's up to you. All right, switch your ratchet to tighten. you know, just make it snug, nice and snug. You don't have to, don't over tighten it. You'll mess up your threads, and then you need a new oil pan. So, depending on your car, it might not be that expensive, but why would you want to do that to yourself, right? I'm just touching the exhaust to see how hot the car is right now, because I have to stick my hand up there. If you got like a nice glove, not a rubber glove, like a nice thick glove, this might be good for you to do it that way. The oil filter, it's up here. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys on the camera. It's right up here, this black thing right here. So I'm gonna try to stick my hand up here and loosen it. Hopefully I can. Ooh, it's hot up here. Yeah, no shit. So I don't know if that's the cat right there. That looks like the cat, and it's hot as shit. So don't fuck with it. You can wait till the car cools down. That would be a good idea. But in my case, I have a filter wrench somewhere over here. All right, y'all. So your filter is most likely gonna be tight. I'll show you a trick to do to it so to make it come out loose. Or it's not gonna be loose, but to make it easier to come out, even sometimes by hand. This one's kind of tucked up in there. It's like in the middle. So even if you went from the top, it's gonna be pretty deep. So what I do is, I got one of these and I kind of just feed it up there. Something like that. I fed it up there like this. And then this part, I just turn it like this to loosen it. Just keep going with it. And that's how I broke it loose. Okay, I can get it by hand, so that's what we're gonna do. Put your oil drip pan underneath here to catch the oil. It's gonna be a little messy, and wait for that oil to drain so you can pull the filter all the way off. And then yeah, we'll put in a new one. Already got this one back on, as you can see. So position that in a good spot. It's a lot of, this car takes a lot of oil. It's pretty big V6, if you ask me. All right, so I'm just loosening this up, loosening the sucker up a little bit. Wait until it gets pretty loose, so it's gonna start dripping oil. Let me move the pan over a little bit. All right. Gotta start dripping oil. There it goes. So you can let it just drip. I should probably loosen it a little bit more. As you can see, it's not a clean drain because just the way they have it in here is it's just spilling over everything. So I'm gonna spray some brake clean to clean all that off when I'm done, and I'll show you guys that part once it's done draining. And you just keep unthreading that filter until it comes off. Pour a little bit in there, like so. If you want, the theory behind it is that your engine won't run dry when you first start it up. And then what I do is I grab some of the oil right here and I put it on this little ring, O-ring, whatever you want to call this. Put a good amount of oil around it, and this is supposed to make sure that it's easier to get the filter out when you're trying to take it out for your next oil change. All right, guys, so that was my mistake. You don't want to put oil in it, at least on these cars, because you know it's just gonna spill out when you put it back up there. It's just what I normally do, but this isn't my car. It's my brother's car, so you know I don't really know it like he does. So I'm just gonna start threading it on there. It's up there. I had to get a better angle on it, but you can see that I'm tightening it. Just tighten it all the way in. It's kind of a hard angle on this car. Alright, it's on there, but I'm gonna try to tighten it down more without burning my hand off. So, because the cat or whatever that is right there. So I'm trying to not burn my freaking hand. If you get the filter wrench, you might want to use that. These are supposed to be hand tightened, but as you can see, I can't really get a good tighten on this damn thing without burning myself. So it would behoove you to let this car cool down before you do this. All right, it's pretty tight, it's on there. So now we're done underneath the car, and I'm just gonna go up top and fill it with oil. All right guys, I just checked the spec for how much oil this car is supposed to take, and it's about 6 quarts. And yeah, that looks like 6 quarts because it's almost coming out of my pan right there. So now we're gonna pour 6 quarts in here. It's literally just here. I already took the cap off of it, twist it off. That's your oil fill, and this is your oil dipstick. You can check this when you're done, but if you look up the spec, it's gonna tell you how much you need. So just put how much you need in there. Use a funnel if you have to. And yeah, I might use a funnel, I might not. I'm gonna see what happens if I don't. You might not want to find out, just saying. So, because this car looks like it's got an easy fill where I don't have to, you know, trip about spilling it. I would suggest using a funnel though, if you can. Okay, this is 1 quart. And if you see these are usually 5 quarts. 1.25 gallons, 5 quarts. 4.73 liters, if you want to know that information. Now we're gonna get this one on there. By the way, this car takes 5W30 full synthetic. Full synthetic is usually better than synthetic blend, if I'm not mistaken. It's like the highest quality oil you can put in your car. So for this one, I think I'm gonna use a funnel because I don't want to fuck up and miss. I usually turn it to the side like this. It usually pours out easier, but if you have a better funnel, it'll probably work out better for you. My funnel's a little too wide, but the way that they designed the catch for this is pretty cool. It just, if you miss any, as long as you get it into that hole right there, it usually just goes in. As long as it's clean, that's not a problem. Let's just pour this in here all the way because it's at 6 quarts and this is 6 quarts. Alright, 6 quarts of oil. You can check your dipstick if you want. You literally just pull this out. Just pull this one out, check it, put it back. You guys know how to do that. Alright, and then to clean this up, I usually just use brake clean, so I'm gonna do that. Don't breathe this stuff in unless you want to get high. Alright, wipe it down and you'll be good. Actually, it's supposed to dry by itself on touch of metal, so you got that too. All right, now we're gonna start the car. Okay, use this. We're gonna use this right here. It's saying ice possible because it's cold as hell. Washer fluid's low. I saw that. Tire pressure monitor system, and yeah, we already seen it's cold. Okay. I'm just gonna hit these up and down arrows to toggle to oil life 84%, but we just did an oil change. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna try to hold down this check mark and see if that will do it. There we go. I just held this, all I did was hold the check mark down, and you just saw it change from 84 or whatever it was at to 100. So we're good on this. My brother likes to keep his cars keep up with the maintenance on his cars, because like I said, he's a diesel mechanic, so you already know. He's just busy, and my ass is off for a couple of days from work, so here we are. Also, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just going to back the car off the ramp, but not all the way because it's touching that lip right there. So we're gonna back it off slightly. I think I still have the parking brake on, so I'm gonna push this button to take it off. It's supposed to keep a brake on the back wheels so the car doesn't move. So now I'm gonna slip off the ramp a little bit. Let's see here. See, like right about here. Put it in park. All right. Parking brake. Parking brake set. And now you'll see that I left this some room. I'm still on the ramp on an angle a little bit, but I left this some room because I'm trying to avoid hitting this. So I think what I'm gonna do is just jack up the car. So actually, I might put it in reverse a little bit more. It can go a little further than this. So yeah. Alright, so getting on top of the ramps, I was trying to see if I could use these bricks that I took from the landscape in my house. I couldn't get over that because the tire was starting to spin. So I'm gonna see if I can get off the ramp with it, see if that helps. So get in the car and I'm gonna find out real quick if it works or not. All right. Oh, the parking brake's still on. Don't forget to take that off. All right, it's off. All right, we're off. Took a little finessing, but we got off. And as you can see, good as new. Check this side. Good as new. That's just a rubber lip anyway, so that's how I got off. If you had something a little bit smaller than those bricks, that would work probably better. But that's all I had. So, all right. All right, guys. Like and subscribe.